Pop Culture Pastor.
So, Cody, something this show is doing that I really appreciate is the thing with the women players and the one that is a mom. Mm-hmm. This episode, we get introduced to a player during the tryouts that has a kid, a very small kid. And before we even get into the episode, I just had these like moments in this episode where I was like, oh man, I really identify with this. So I was an only child of a single mom, and she was very young when she had me. So I still have memories of a time when she was an athlete and she would play a bunch of sports, like rec sports and whatnot. And I remember these times when I would go to her games as a little one and watch her compete. And she was a competitor. Like, she played hard. So she's well known in Topeka, Kansas, of all places, for being someone who batted 1,000 through an entire softball rec season, which that's not easy to do.
That sounds made up.
It does sound made up, but I swear she did it. I've seen the newspaper clipping. But I also watched her get like hit in the face by a throw. She was running from first to second, and it was a double play try, and a dude just won it, and I mean just clocked her because, you know, it's rec softball. These dudes aren't super accurate all the time. And she like fractured her eye orbital bone, and yeah.
Could have wore the mask that LeBron James did.
Yeah. And so what I want to say is I appreciate how they've introduced that into the show. And there's this real sweet scene with Ted, and we'll talk about it when we get there with the kid. But I should say this is Pop Culture Pastor Watch-Alongs. This is our watch-along for Ted Lasso Season 4. My name's Dave. Cody's here.
And this is episode 3.
Did I not say that?
Season 4.
Season
where
4.
You stopped.
Episode 3.
Yeah.
And the episode title was Richmond's Got Talent. And yeah, we're going to have a tryout, open tryouts.
That's funny.
What's funny? Open tryouts?
No, Richmond's Got Talent.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It starts in a interesting way with someone, while the screen's still black, someone yelling the F word really loud. And your first thought is, oh no, is someone else hurt? Or is this the lady from last week? Or what's going on here? But what it turns out is this woman who happens to be the other striker for the team is pregnant.
It happens.
And she is not taking it well. It's funny because the coaches are all kind of smiling, but also trying to be like there for her. They're congratulating her and they're being warm, and they really mean it, right? But they're like confused at the same time of how to handle it. And then we cut to the coach's office where the actual like gravity of it all lands, right? She was their last remaining striker. The first match is just some days away. They have nobody in the front of their field right here. And so we get this kind of scene of them in the office that's setting up this idea of like, oh, the dominoes are falling.
They are.
And just bad things are happening. They're running out of players. And I think the writers of the show did a really good job in this scene, because the second loss is technically a joyful event. And so the coaches, they all acted it so well, where they're even Alice, who's kind of dour, has like kind of a half smile.
Good news is it's just a friendly.
Women don't have friendlies, Roy. The only thing we care about is your health and happiness, Alice says. And then it cuts right to them in the office. Well, this is a disaster.
So I felt like they should have had more than 2 strikers.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they do. They're just not, I don't know. They make it seem like, nope, we're out of strikers. So maybe like, you know, some formations, I'm not super familiar with soccer, but I know some formations, the striker's just like the one who's at the very top.
Yeah.
And the other ones can be like forwards, but maybe the striker's just at one. So maybe they just had a first string and a second string.
Maybe. You need a utility soccer player that can play all the positions.
We need a utility striker. I don't even know if that's a thing. Can you tell we're not
We just made it a thing.
We're not Euros, man.
Nope.
Ted asks Alice if she knows anyone. And Alice says she does, but then also she doesn't, right? She's like, oh, yeah, but no. But it's Gemma. She mentions the name Gemma, who
is not the mom from Sons of Anarchy.
No, she's not. She is a striker who Alice has played with, who apparently walked away from football to study law. We find out later. But Alice cracks this kind of sarcastic joke about, like, well, we'll just pick up people off the street. And Ted, being Ted, all right, let's do that. He like just runs with the idea. And without missing a beat, they start doing that back and forth. Him and Beard, they do a lot. Maybe we'll find a janitor who's a mathematical genius.
I LOL'd at that one.
I love it when she tries to join in and she's like Susan Boyle. And Ted's just sitting there looking back and forth because Beard reacts like, oh, yeah. And Ted's just like clearly not knowing. What's a Susan Boyle? Is that what British people call skin tags? But this is a fun scene because it's a callback to how Ted operates, right? He takes the throwaway line seriously. In Ted's world, there's nothing too ridiculous to try. And I love that about Ted.
Well, just know that Britain's got talent.
But also, I think it's worth noting that in this scene, Alice hedging on Gemma after she brings her up, this kind of like, yeah, but no. The show's planting a seed that there's something more to the story than we just played together, right? We get a little bit of it later on, but I don't know if that's the full story.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, we might get more later. Ted goes to brief Rebecca in another fun little gimmick because Ted is used to Kramering his way through all the doors. Just that's a Seinfeld reference.
That is.
But he finds that the boss's door is locked and he bounces off of it and falls down. It's kind of a fun little gimmick. But when it opens, she is clearly ruffled. Matisse is in the background getting some clothes on real quick. And yeah, they were clearly having some intimate moments.
Yeah. This relationship felt weird this episode.
Yeah. We're going to get to that. He brings up the open tryouts. Rebecca thinks it's silly until Ted mentions it was Alice's idea. Then at that point, she's instantly on board. So couple things in this scene, Cody.
She's a feminist.
Yes, she's a feminist. It establishes that, one, Rebecca's got this relationship going on and a life outside the club for the first time in the series.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're trying to set up with this storyline. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. I'm not ready to fully discuss because you're right. I think it's weird. It's handled like it's almost like it's rushed. They put it in this whole comedic string of events to set up something that I think is actually going to be kind of serious at some point. Like, did you get that feeling?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then the second part of it is the flip on Alice's idea. We still see that Rebecca is still kind of overcorrecting from out of guilt, right?
Which is not a good thing.
No, yeah. She's still operating out of guilt, which means she's not growing. She's just doing it because she doesn't want to appear a certain way that she might be.
Yeah.
Keeley waltzes in at this point, and pleasantries aside with Matisse, Rebecca asks for 4,000 pounds for rally towels for Saturday's friendly.
I do like the rally towel.
You like the rally towel idea? Idea?
I have a few rally towels.
Oh, yeah? Which ones?
I do have one from Sporting KC.
Oh, cool.
And then I have like 3 or 4 Chiefs rally towels.
I can't hear rally towels without hearing, don't forget your towel.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to explain that reference. If you got it, you got it.
You're welcome.
They could take away my ministry card.
Potentially.
But she says basically, no, you're not. I'm not giving you 4,000 pounds for the rally towels. And Keeley reveals that she's already bought them with her own money. And then Higgins walks in talking about the shareholders meeting, and Rebecca throws everyone out. Ted delivers a line on the way out. Ground controlled a major hunk.
Ayo.
Which I've had said about me many times.
I have not.
Then we get the credits. But I think it's important to see something here because although this gets softened this episode by the end of it, I don't think this is going to be totally resolved because we have Keely spending her own personal money for the team, and Rebecca kind of makes a joke about it, and it doesn't really get processed. And I think that's going to have some sort of impact at some point because Keely still seems way more bought in than everyone else. She has more skin in the game.
She does, although she was hoping that Rebecca would refund her $4,000. That, like, oh, I just put this money out there. Rebecca will pay it back.
Well, and she does in a way.
Oh, well, not yet.
Yeah. Higgins introduces Roy at the shareholders address. We go to the shareholders address, which this is interesting. Is this like a Green Bay Packers situation?
That's what it felt like.
Like, do some of the football clubs in England, are they like fan owned?
Well, so quite a few of them it's kind of like stocks that you buy a percentage of, because like LeBron James owns shares in, is it Man U or Man City? One, or Liverpool, I don't know. One of the big ones, he owns some shares, and yeah, I mean, I imagine the bigger clubs, you have to be someone that is independently wealthy, where Richmond, you might not.
Yeah. Higgins calls up Roy to speak about the men's team, and Roy's entire presentation is 2 wins, 1 loss, played like poo in all of them. We'll see what happens.
Nailed it.
And then he turns to walk away, and then it's funny because Higgins gets up and like, do we have any questions? And he looks really mad. Roy's angry. And then he comes back to the podium, and Marty McFly, who's wearing a red vest. By the way, that's the best ongoing little joke about the question and answers scenes in this show.
Is that we're going to reference random movies.
Some random pop culture object because someone in the crowd just unexplainably looks like this thing.
Although I was perplexed, they know the sentiment around the women's team.
Yeah.
Why would you not have the women's team go first?
Because it's not dramatically as effective.
It is not. But like, if everyone's all about the men's team, you save the best for last.
Yeah, it makes sense in that scenario. In the real world, yes. But on the script, no.
I was upset.
Someone asks him if Roy's thought about his future with the club, and he's very mean, Roy style. And I think he's supposed to be mean. I think you're supposed to cringe a little, like, oh, he was just super harsh to this shareholder. And that's the end of the questions because nobody else is going to ask a question and get shut down like that. But the point is they all clap.
Well,
he's done. Like,
he's a legend, and also he is the coach of the men's team.
So you have this scene that's played for like pure comedy, but it's also a scene that's telling us something. Roy gives them nothing while being super angry about it and mean, and the room is okay. And then when the women's team gets introduced and they're willing to part with actual information and enthusiasm, the shareholders begin physically getting up and leaving.
They do. And
Rebecca has to she does the loud whistle, sit down.
Although the person I would have started off with would have been Ted.
Yeah.
Ted's a known commodity.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree. But yeah, I think
doesn't play up the drama. I know.
We're meant to see something here though, because they get up and leave, and even after they sit down, they call up Keely. And I don't know if you caught it, but as she's walking up to the microphone, she gets catcalled.
She does.
Which, yeah, I think you're supposed to see. And what the episode is making the point of is that Roy insults them and they stay and they're fine with it. But the women get mentioned. They walk out. And Keely, who has an important real position with the team, is demeaned and disrespected.
Also has not read Reddit.
Yeah, or does not know about the existence of the Higgins report.
It's a much longer title than that.
But it just kind of shows the uphill climb that they have in making people not just care about women's sports, but consider their own chauvinistic tendencies just around it.
And I think that also having Keeley be unaware of everything that's happening within the organization also will play a key factor in. You talked about the fans' perspective, but even within the ownership itself, they're still not fully trusting of Keeley's a woman leader. Yeah. And I do think that Rebecca and Keeley will have a moment in the future where Keeley asks why she's not being fully trusted.
Yeah. So the Higgins report, if you don't remember from the last episode, is this internal financial analysis projecting the women's team as unsustainable.
And costing the men everything.
Yeah, possibly hurtful to the men's Champions League or the men's league team. And Keeley, of course, had no idea the report existed, and she covers sort of okay-ish. But Rebecca kept this from her, and last episode ended with Rebecca receiving that report and deciding to press on without telling her, and that decision blows up here, and it blows up on Keeley, the person who's been spending her own money.
I do like within the next day scene, which I know I'm jumping, but that she has read the report in a day.
Yes.
Which makes her seem more competent than the people that actually got the report.
Right. Meanwhile, Rebecca rushes out without talking about it all with Keeley. She intentionally rushes out.
Lame.
And instead choosing to text her from home, sorry about not telling you about the report. I promise to make it up to you. I love you. Which Keeley thumbs up. Oof.
That's not good.
I'm told by the youngins that that's not good. That's passive aggressive.
It's like sending K.
You do that to me all the time.
I do.
That's messed up. She lays back on the bed in kind of frustration, and then the screen fades to black, and she awakens because she clearly has fallen asleep to Matisse announcing that she slept through their dinner plans. And he tells her he has another one scheduled for early dinner tomorrow, and that he had to because the waiter doesn't think his girlfriend is real.
Well, she might not be.
So Matisse gets stood up once, and he handles it well, and you're like, oh, he's a kind and understanding dude. This seems like it could actually happen.
Does, but also, it's not a good look for Rebecca that your boyfriend who lives in another country, who's constantly traveling, makes plans to be with you, and you just sleep through your date. Yep. Even though you just had a meeting that didn't go well. Same point, why don't you call him and be like, let's cancel that and order in.
Yeah, DoorDash.
Whatever.
DoorDash is, I don't know what it is in England.
The British version of DoorDashing.
Henry's getting ready for school, and he has to wear a uniform and needs Ted's help with the tie. We get this kind of sweet father-son moment. So Ted's getting all the moments that he didn't get in the first few seasons of the show. Roy and his sister are walking Phoebe to school, and Phoebe tells Roy she made special shirts for the match.
Team Phoebe.
Phoebe. Are you coming to Manchester? No. The Richmond match in Richmond. Oh, you mean the women's match? Both teams are Richmond. I know, it's just when someone says Richmond, they're usually referring to the team that's existed for over a century.
Touche.
I don't know why Roy's being so mean about it. Just as Phoebe is about to get really upset with him about that remark, Ted and Henry show up. And, she's wanting to be nice to Henry and show him around and help him out at his new school. But I think the Roy-Phoebe disagreement is kind of this whole episode compressed into 10 seconds of bickering. This is the whole point of what's going on right now. And it does pay off directly at the end of the bickering with Phoebe's line that both teams are Richmond.
I am concerned, though, what the square footage is.
The square footage of his doghouse?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think, real question, do you really think Roy's sister would have got that?
No.
I'm an American from Kansas, and I don't understand where you're going with this, Ted.
I was wondering, and then then she said it, and I was like, oh.
Alice shows up to recruit Gemma, who's playing what appears to be a rec league game. It's co-ed, and we clearly see that Gemma can more than hold her own. She's good. She's a baller.
For her, football is life.
And Alice waits outside for Gemma. They see each other, but Gemma just walks right past her, doesn't slow down, doesn't even acknowledge her, just walks by, which the actress that plays Alice, I think, does a good job here of when she walks by, she's clearly stunned by it. Like she didn't think that would happen.
I thought it would happen.
But the severity of the reaction, she was not, the severity of the reaction, not the reaction itself. I think she thought there might be some friction, but I don't think she thought she would just walk by her like that. And I thought it was interesting that the last week Alice was the one holding the grudge and Ted was able to get through to her. And this week she's on the other side of that. And it clearly doesn't feel good.
Although she didn't even attempt to talk.
No. But we talked last week about how bitterness is a closed door. And now Alice is running into one that she's apparently caused.
Ayo.
Pinter and Sons, lead sponsor for the team, the men's team and the women's team. Rebecca learns that they're out on the women's team after the shareholders meeting. She's learning this information when Keeley arrives to an apology gift from Rebecca for not telling her about the report. It's clearly something that was costly. We see Rebecca again operating out of guilt.
Yes.
And this is clearly one of the storylines we're seeing developed with Rebecca is one, it's like how hard it is to be the leader of a huge operation with your team made up of friends. Because when everything's going great, it's great. But when hard decisions are going to have to be made, will Rebecca be able to make them? Because she might not be wrong here. They might not have been wrong with the Higgins report.
Or they might have been totally wrong.
I think that by the end of the season, we're going to see that they were wrong. But in reality, someone in charge of a multi-million-dollar thing has to make hard decisions. And when your best friend is in charge of some things underneath you, that can result in some things.
Bologna sandwiches for all gains.
Keeley does say she read the report, as you talked about earlier, and it doesn't take something into account, Cody.
Yeah.
Their team and the Richmond way. So, yeah.
I mean, I would call it the Lasso way.
Let's do a quick Diamond Dogs here. Woo, 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 woo! Diamond Dogs!
Ow.
Nice. I appreciate the effort. Cody, is she right? Is there something that a report, even if something doesn't work 100 times in a row, can something work because a report statistics can't take into account individual and how they tick?
Well, there always is going to be within statistics on the standard bell curve outliers. Things that perform outside the probabilities. It's a less than 5% chance that this will occur. And I do think that an individual like Ted Lasso and the culture that he implements within any circumstance he's in is not a typical culture, and it's not a typical outcome. So he is an outlier in himself. And so I do think Keeley is on to something that, this might be worth the risk. You might have pocket aces. I don't know. I'm not a poker guy.
Rebecca calls the CEO of Pinter and Sons right there in the office, and there's this funny little sequence about how Keeley speaks up, and then the CEO is not real amused by that.
Yeah.
But Rebecca smooths it out and says, "Oh, they're just weird people. I'll go talk to her face to face, and it'll be fine." And she's, essentially she's right. That's what happens.
Rebecca is also one of those weird people.
Yeah, but it's far away, and we're already introduced to the idea of like, she's going to miss another date with her boyfriend. But we go to the open tryouts, and the first girl we meet is Lizzie Davis. She's a center back. She's brought her kid to the tryout because she couldn't get childcare. This marks the second item in this episode that's very different in women's sports regarding obstacles they face. So we saw the striker who is pregnant and like, oh, you can't play now.
Yes.
And then the second one, the result of the first, right? This is, she's got a kid, and women being seen and expected to be the main day-to-day caretakers of children in cultures. Like, this is an interesting barrier that most people don't think about for women athletes. And it shows that the barriers aren't only institutional, they're social, childcare. Time, the stuff that doesn't show up in Higgins' spreadsheet either.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of things we can't see here, and a lot of things that I would admit, even though I grew up with a single mom, I just didn't think about when I thought about like the WNBA or whatever. Like, I don't know how many of the women in the WNBA have kids, but I would assume it's at least 30%.
I don't know.
You think that's a bit high? I don't know, but certainly many of them do.
That an athlete has had a child, has missed a season, and then comes back.
Yeah. Many of the hopefuls at the tryout are, well, charitably, they're not footballers. One of them is smoking as they're getting limber.
I have seen footage from the NFL in the 1960s and 70s. It's okay.
They start with a sprint across the field, and it becomes obvious super quickly that, oh, there's only about actually 5 of these 200 people that are even worth looking at. It's Keystone Cops out there. And then we get this big needle drop moment as we're watching the hilarity, and it's Beard's Jam of the Week.
Okay.
Beard's Jam of the Week happens to be Overture, the March from the movie Stripes by Elmer Bernstein. Have you seen Stripes, Cody?
With William Murray?
Yeah, that's the guy, Bill Murray.
Okay, yeah, I have.
Old 1981 Bill Murray comedy. Elmer Bernstein is the guy who scored that. In that movie, it plays over boot camp scenes. This whole movie is a platoon of misfits who have absolutely no business being soldiers, but they're getting drilled into something that's resembling a unit. And Bernstein wrote these scores for movies like this, and then he also did the Magnificent Seven, Ghostbusters. But this one's a pure comedy, like it's a march, but it has like a comic kind of feel to it. In fact, at first I was like, I know this. What is this? Is this McHale's Navy? But no, it's from Stripes. And Cody, I think that's the joke. They picked this song on purpose because Richmond is opening its doors. In walks these women who look like they haven't been athletes before, or maybe haven't in many years. You've got like the single mom who's got the kid with them, the smoker, the girl from the park, and it looks like it's played for laughs. But the selection of the song from Stripes the movie ends with the idiot military guys getting trained just enough to pull it off. So I think there's a little hidden thing there. But it's just a fun callback.
Although one of them might be an ace in the hole.
Yes. 3 faces eventually emerge, Cody. Shannon, the kid Ted's been playing with in the park, as she's struggling, but Ted has seen her skills. But we don't know exactly what's going on with her because we've seen her skills.
Yes.
In past seasons. Maybe she's nervous. I don't know. Lizzie Davis, the single mother we met right at the beginning of the scene, who I think there's a great scene of her refocusing the twins as they start to fight.
Yes.
The twins start to fight as we're accustomed to seeing them already. And the goalie's like, sweet twin fight. Yeah. Which is not good leader material.
Nope.
But this girl, Lizzie, immediately starts trying to calm them down. It's like, hey, you both messed up. Let's focus on what you're supposed to do right. And she gets them. She redirects them. That's valuable. The coaches take notice. And then we also see Maria Rojas.
Yeah.
Danny Rojas. Danny's sister, Maria Rojas. And she is very convincing because she is really his sister.
Yeah.
Beard is convinced that Maria has her brother's gifts. Like he's like circling her on the chart.
Well, she learned everything from him, or he taught her everything.
Spoilers, she is not an ace in the hole. She lines up for a penalty kick, misses the ball multiple times. She gets disqualified. They send her home once it becomes clear that she doesn't actually know how to play at all. And to which Beard hilariously goes, "But football is life?" And she says, "No, dum-dum. Life is so much more than football." And Ted hilariously like, "It's true." It's a funny part of this scene, and it's having some fun. They're subverting a trope here that gets cycled sometimes in shows with mini seasons. Because, hey, you lose a character. Here's their sibling who's exactly like the character you loved, blah, blah, blah. So they're subverting that trope. Because as soon as I saw her, and as soon as they tell you that it's Danny Rojas' sister, I just assume she's a mainstay now for the rest of the season.
No.
She was not. Good subversion. Roy drops by Keeley's office, tries to check on her after the disaster of the shareholders meeting. He makes an awkward joke, and it's all interrupted by a call for Keeley. And it's an interesting little scene. Roy's frustrated with himself, but it goes to show that things remain awkward between them.
Yeah.
Very
awkward.
Yeah, Roy still clearly wants more than friendship. But yeah, it's still real awkward. We can also get another little scene where we meet their new kit woman, June. And the whole point of this scene is to establish that there's been a problem with the uniforms. Keeley, June had been on the phone trying to figure it out, and there's a mix-up. They've lost him in transit, and so Keeley pledges to figure it out. And then we get another adorable little scene with Ted and Lizzie's little boy. I referenced it earlier, where they interact, and it shows how perfect Ted is for the women's team.
It was kind of funny because he was very confused at the end of it.
But like most professional coaches would have been like, "What the heck is this? Get this kid out of here."
Yep.
And I love that Ted is not that guy.
Some assistant coaches will be like that.
By day's end, only Lizzie and Shannon are left standing. Neither is a striker. All the coaches agree on Lizzie and inform her of the selection. Alice says, "Practice is tomorrow at 8, no kids."
Yeah.
Which she reacts just subtly like, "Oh, no." You can see this is going to be an ongoing thing.
Mm-hmm.
And over objections from both Beard and Alice, Ted sneakily invites Shannon to the team. "I'll handle it. I'll go tell her." And then he tells her she's on the team. That was a funny scene where watching Beard and Alice react to her joy. What just happened?
So even if she's not a contributing member to the team, she might be like the glue of the locker room, that she just has that persona, because her demeanor is way different than a lot of the athletes that are on the team. And I'm like, I like this character.
I think what this show has done a great job of doing, though, is showing that Ted's not just some yokel.
Yeah.
He's not an idiot. Like, in fact, the things he brings to the coaching table are rarer than like most what you think of good coaches can do. Because while most coaches evaluate and see talent that helps them right now, we know that from past seasons that Ted sees potential a lot better than most people do.
That he does.
Both Beard and Alice say, "We still don't have a striker." And Ted asks about Gemma. And Alice says, "She wouldn't even talk to me." He says, "So not no. Only way to know if it's a no is we go get a no so we know." Which Beard translates to, "You guys are going on a field trip."
Yeah.
We see quick scenes interspersed throughout all of this of Rebecca convincing the Pinter and Sons lady to not pull sponsorship of the women's team. And she kind of smooth talks them back in with this impassioned speech on sports being about chances and that they deserve this chance, and for everyone to see and grow up, a new generation to grow up and think this isn't anything weird.
Yeah, even that lady's grandson.
Yes. But again, after all this, even though she gets her to agree and retain her sponsorship, she has stood up Matisse at their restaurant again. The waiter comps him a drink after he doesn't believe the whole girlfriend work emergency explanation.
Like, he has to. I feel like the waiter should be like, why would someone make this up 2 days in a row?
Yeah. The weird thing about all of this, and I hit on this early, and this seems like a good a spot as any to talk about it. It's all played for comedy, but this is actually kind of serious. And I think they're going to go in a serious direction with it.
They should.
And so it's weird that it's played for this much comedy.
Yeah. It didn't land with me.
Yeah. It had trouble with me too. And listen, that Sunflowers episode where we meet him in Amsterdam, I think is one of the best hours of television. I was fully on board with him being a regular on this show. But this has been written in a weird way for me. I'm hoping they can turn it well, but Ted and Alice go see Gemma in the law library. Did it need to be in a library? No. Was it annoying that they kept trying to make it funny? Yes. I didn't like this scene, Cody. Like, I didn't need the dude in the background going, shh, shh. I didn't find it funny. I'm just like, what are we doing?
Showing how serious of a student she is, because that shows how serious she takes everything.
Contrarian Cody. They've come to recruit her. Gemma, as before, is pretty angry with Alice. She's the reason I quit playing football in the first place. Did she tell you that?
Nope.
But she's also the one who thought of you when they needed a striker. So there's that. But there's a lot of hurt feelings. It seems like maybe they're just two particular personalities that don't mesh well together. And it sounds like maybe both of them have some fault here. Alice, because she's unable to coach different people with different sensibilities. Seems like she's pretty hard on people, and that doesn't work with everybody.
Yeah.
And Gemma, who maybe wasn't tough enough to follow through on her dreams, even though she's gifted to do it.
Gifted enough to play football and potentially do law.
Yeah. Keely, fresh back from more frustration trying to track down the uniforms, because we get this funny little scene of her like at the place where the worker is over the top, like,
yeah,
all packages are important. But like, I didn't even talk about it. That's how, I mean, it's just a silly little scene. But she gets back, she finds Roy in the parking lot, and she is expressing a lot of frustration. She's kind of cracking up. And Roy, even though he has good intentions, messes up again because he says, it doesn't really matter. It's just a friendly.
Yeah.
Women don't get friendlies, Roy. We succeed or fail. She's not wrong. This is one of those moments where I'm like, Roy, come on, man. I thought we were getting past this last season.
I mean, from his perspective, playing football for however long he did, a friendly is just a friendly exhibition game that no one really cares too much about.
But isn't that the problem with their relationship, at least from his end? He's not getting out of his own context enough to try and see it from hers.
I think he is definitely attempting. I just don't know if he is going to be capable of it.
I don't think it's intentional. I'm not saying he's a terrible person. I'm just saying dude's like he is his own problem right now.
Well, evidently Vanity Fair is not helping either.
Rebecca's getting ready to leave to make her lunch with Matisse when she's greeted by a crying Keely, and she stands him up again, although at least this time she doesn't just stand him up without a communication. She sends him a text.
I did not like this stand up at all.
And Matisse hugs the waiter, which I did find funny.
Like, you can say, hey, I feel for you. Let's meet at like 2:00.
Yeah.
I have a dinner date or whenever, a couple hours after. So, yeah, no, I'm like, this one could have been pushed.
Yeah. Finally, it's game day. The kids still aren't there, but Keely is tracking them, pulling up to the stadium. After another short, kind of funny conversation, the problem is it's a very small box. It's clearly not the kids, and she cracks up for good. When Roy calls her, and she's cracking up, the kids aren't going to be there for the game. And Roy, after he hangs up, looks at his bedazzled socks that Phoebe gave him earlier and remembers that they were making shirts. Keep that in your mind.
I will.
It's going to come back pretty quickly. So pregame, Gemma shows up and says, I want to be on the team. Alice continues to be hard on her. We'll see how long before she quits. And then Ted comes back on her, says, well, coach, I feel compelled to remind you that you quit my first week. She says, I didn't quit. I resigned. It's different. He says, well, flatulence is just a fancy word for fart, but they both stink.
Ayo.
To which Beard does his point when he's backing someone up, saying they're right. And then she just blows a raspberry and leaves, which I'm really loving the chemistry that she has with them. It's kind of the perfect match.
It is, although I don't know how I feel about her interactions with players yet. It's 50-50.
Yeah. I see a lot of chatter online where she's just a female version of Roy, and I disagree. She's different. There's different things going on there. Roy is angry. She's dour. There's a difference.
You can go to dictionary.com to look up dour.
Yeah, I don't have time to talk about it right now. The Greyhounds take the pitch in Phoebe's handmade kits. For 75 minutes, nothing happens. Even the announcers are talking about it. It's dull.
Henry asked, do we have to go to every game?
And everybody knows it's dull. Then Alice, not Ted, calls for Gemma. She looks over at Gemma and she notices Gemma is bouncing her leg, obviously itching to get in. And she says, put in Gemma. And so Gemma goes in. Ted says, okay. Puts her in. She scores almost immediately. Richmond wins. The place erupts. As the coaches celebrate, we see Alice very happy in the background. And then she immediately regains her sour composure when Beard turns around to high-five her. Thought that was interesting. We're getting little pieces of her character without words.
Yes.
And the coaches congratulate Gemma, except for Alice, who tells her, next time, follow your shot.
Burn.
Do you have a theory on this? There's clearly something about her specifically that Alice has a problem with.
I feel like there is romantic chemistry between them, and because of the player-coach dynamic, it cannot happen.
Uh-oh. Yep. Roy comes to Keeley's office, apologizes for adding to her stress this past week, which this is good for Roy. I almost, this is going to come up in a second because this is growth. Like,
way to go, Roy.
He realizes that he has not helped. He wanted to help.
Although he did help.
He did help, yes. But he apologizes for adding to her stress the past week. Then he hands her this gift, his own counter report. He's commissioned his own report on the sustainability of women's football. It's one page, Cody, and it reads, bleep 'em.
That's a very Roy thing.
Which is, it charms her. And why wouldn't it? It's a very Roy. It's very from Roy's heart.
But Roy did save the day for the ladies' Richmond squad.
Yeah, he got Phoebe's girl squad to come and make shirts.
Make kits.
Finally, we make it to the restaurant where Rebecca and Matisse are finally going to have dinner together. And it's funny that Matisse calls her first before he shows up to make sure she's going to be there because he doesn't want to be there alone again. And I think it's funny when they sit down, a waiter comes over and he assumes that Matisse has hired a prostitute. Poor guy's in denial.
Although, how aloof would you have to be to not know a wealthy, very public figure in that area?
Yeah. The weird thing about all the scenes with Matisse and Rebecca, including that waiter's little line at the end, is I feel like they're over the top trying to make something funny that seems like this is going to be an ongoing thread that has some implications. The show went to great lengths this episode to make Matisse this very likable and low drama guy.
Yeah.
Very easygoing, which usually means it's building towards a squeeze later this season. Some pressure is going to build, and at some point he's going to break, right?
Yes, because she is too consumed with work.
Yeah. No one in a new relationship likes to feel like they're not the prime importance of the whole thing, right? They want to be number one.
They do.
So we'll see. Cody, who's your who grew?
Honestly, the whole women's team.
Okay. Yeah.
That even though they have faced some difficult circumstances, whether it is losing both of their strikers or not having real kits for their first ever game, they have persevered And where a lot of people would have said, this operation's a joke, I'm out, these ladies have stuck by each other's side and are welcoming the newbies that Britain's Got Talent or Richmond's Got Talent.
Yeah. I think my Who Grew is going to be Roy Kent. And I think he goes through kind of a growing process in just this one episode. When we're going through it, when we're having a tough time, there seems to be these couple approaches that happen a lot by people who are well-intentioned. They don't mean to do this, but there's the people that want to fix your situation, right? They just come in with all the solutions. Well, you should do this, or you should do this. You should do this. And then there's the people like Roy does in this episode where he tries to recontextualize it.
Yeah.
When that's not necessarily helping or helping them cope. Where sometimes I think what people just need is someone to be a shoulder to lean on. Let them cry. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to recontextualize it. And just say, hey, I'm sorry this is happening to you. What can I do for you? Which is what his exact words are on the phone. What can I do for you?
Although you should be focusing on your coaching your team against man.
You are a Champions League manager, sir. All right. Cody, how many missing kits out of 10 are you giving this episode?
I think I was at an 8 last week or an 8.5. I think I'm back down to like a 7.
Yeah, I'm going to go to 6.5 here.
Yeah, it took a step down.
Yeah, I still laughed at parts. I like the introduction of some of the new girls. I'm very interested in the Lizzie storyline with her kid. I want to see where that goes. I'm very interested in Alice and Gemma.
So I do think this season, Maria Rojas's credo is actually going to be the theme of the season.
Oh, that football is not life.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. We'll see. What do you guys think of this episode of Ted Lasso? Did you think it was underwhelming or did you like this episode? Let us know in the social media posts that we put out for the episode drop. And of course, if you don't want to miss any of these watch alongs, make sure and subscribe to the pod on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. And it would really help us a lot if you reviewed us. Please review our podcast. Give us the maximum amount of stars because that helps our visibility. We'll see you next week.